Coming into office, President Obama faced a multitude of challenges. As the onset of a recession began and housing prices dropped in late 2007, banking crises erupted in 2008, continuing to a massive decline in job creation right before Obama took office. Foreclosures became a national issue, due in part to speculative bank trading, an issue that had previously been prohibited up until the late 1990s because of its major role in the Great Depression. This tumultuous mixture of double-digit unemployment rates, millions of possible foreclosures, and greedy bankers further contributed to a state of economic crisis unseen since the 1930s. Economic recovery seemed impossible. The purpose of the stimulus plan was to stop the Great Recession from becoming another Great Depression. It sought to create jobs, advance science and health fields, invest in transportation and infrastructure, and stabilize government budgets in order to become more economically efficient. It remained widely unknown that the stimulus plan directly worked to allow tax cuts to the middle and lower classes, majorly through the earned income tax credit. Overall, the stimulus plan was successful in creating 3 million jobs and balancing state budgets in order to fund salaries of public employment throughout the Great Recession. Overall, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act of 2010 was successful. It gave insurance to 32 million additional Americans, ended abuse by private insurance companies, increased competition among private insurance plans, funded hundreds of clinics in underserved areas, increased Medicaid coverage, required coverage of health prevention, and encouraged the use of evidence-based medicine. Obama faced deficits derived from the huge decline in federal revenues from the Great Recession, large military spending from 2 wars, large social spending from unemployment and other programs for citizens that were harmed during the Great Recession, and the nearly $1 trillion stimulus plan that protected from a complete economic collapse. Liberals and conservatives battled on the premise of Bush's tax cuts for affluent Americans. Although gridlocked, annual budget deficits were cut and the rise of federal debt was slowed. One accomplishment by Obama was in 2015 he established the Paris Climate Accord, an agreement to cut greenhouse emissions and keep global temperatures from climbing more than 3.6 degrees above pre-industrial times. In 2015, same-sex marriage became legal throughout the United States. In support, Obama provided a statement that read, "The laws of our lands are catching up to the fundamental truth that millions of Americans hold in our hearts. When all Americans are treated as equal, no matter who they are or whom they love, we are all more free." Following the tragedy of the Sandy Hook school shooting, Obama's administration put forth measures to ban specific military-style assault rifles, expand background checks, and limit ammunition magazines. His efforts ultimately failed because no president could overcome the extraordinary power of the NRA with its massive contributions to the campaign of many politicians. These stated policies serve as evidence to Obama's success throughout his presidency. It is sad to say that these policies would come under fire at the end of Obama's presidency.